everyone. You're listening to China Blue on WUSB 90.1 FM. I'm Junyu from the Media Committee, and today with me, I have.
Hi, I'm Jessie, and I'm the treasurer of ChinaBlue.
I'm Winston, and I'm in the fundraising committee.
Hi, I'm Jessica CS from the event coordinator committee.
All right, cool. So today we will be talking about the differences between Native and Chinese Americans. Diving right in, I just want to ask you guys, like, do you guys know like common acronyms that are typically affiliated with us Chinese people? It's like ABC, FOB, ABG. Do you guys know these terms?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. So just to preface, ABC I believe stands for American Born Chinese. FOB stands for Fresh Off the Boat, and ABG stands for Asian Baby Girls. What do you guys identify as?
For me, I'm 100% just an ABC. That's what I
No,
say.
Winston's an ABG.
No.
No,
yes. How about you? How about you three?
I think I'm a mix between ABC and FOB. There's a lot of stuff.
A mix?
I think I'm ABC, but then people mistake me for FOB.
You're pretty FOB.
Yeah. We do.
Literally.
But technically,
Wait, and then
I'm not.
Jessica, what did you say?
Huh?
What did you
no.
say, Jessica?
Oh, I think I'll probably be ABC because I was born here and raised here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes you guys what makes you think what you are based on this category? Like I feel like I'm more towards FOB because like, you know, I majorly buy my groceries and stuff from like Chinese supermarkets. Rarely ever do I go to like American markets and stuff to buy stuff. And like the stuff I cook is not like, you know, it's like majorly like traditional Chinese dishes or like pre-made dishes that my mom makes me. So I'm like maybe FOB because that's what like FOB is, I think.
I thought FOB would be like people who like primarily recently like came to the US. Like you were like born and raised in like for example like China, and then like you recently came here to like the US, because I don't think like ABC is like means you're not in touch with your Chinese culture or like not going to like the Chinese supermarkets, because I only like go to the Chinese supermarkets too. But I don't like identify as like FOB because I was never born and raised in China, so I just
I see. Well, I was born in China, so I was like,
yeah,
maybe.
So, like...
What about you guys?
So I would say I'm just an ABC because I've never left the United States at all. Born here, raised here, never left here, and English is my first language. And yeah, like my family, we do like I am in touch with somewhat in touch with my roots. But I would say for the most part, my lifestyle is more American.
I think like for me, I feel like I'm
You're confusing.
ABC. I'm confusing because I'm ABC the way that I was born in America, but then I went to China right after I was born, and then came back. But then, like I feel like I stuck with my Chinese roots, or like I'm more into Chinese like dramas, like entertainment, or like their culture and like this like fashion style and like just like overall, and the language too. I feel like in that way that's why I get mistaken as like I come fresh off the boat, but like
wait,
it's like a split.
One question.
Yeah.
When did you come here? When did you come
very
back?
little. Like I came back when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
But then I was influenced by my sister because she's born in China. And she didn't come until she was in middle school. And then so she taught me everything, basically.
Wow. I don't know. I was born in China and I moved here again. I think I said this before. I don't know. I moved here when I was 5, and then the moment I came here, my grandma kind of drilled me through a lot of American shows. Like I grew up watching a lot of Nickelodeon shows, a lot of Cartoon Network, Disney
Uh,
Channel, and then that's how I learned English other from
mhm.
school. So I guess like now that I'm hearing these definitions, I think FOB to some extent, but mostly ABC now. I guess. Yeah. Um, what do you guys think is the difference between a Chinese American versus
I feel like Chinese American, like definitely they're more into like American entertainment, like American, like regardless if it's entertainment, culture, or food, there's like certain aspects that they are more interested in as compared to native Chinese. Like even on campus, you can like very easily differentiate between like people who are really really Chinese because of of how they dress, as compared to
Yes.
American Chinese. Like I feel like American Chinese, there's more like a relaxed style, like hoodies and sweatpants, or like shorts
Mhm.
and Adidas. But then like if you look at native Chinese, they would have more
They're decked out
like
to go to get food.
yeah, they look like they're like going on like a fashion, like a um
A runway show.
runway. Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
they're
But
about to
but
go on a
but they're
runway
going to
show.
West Side Dining.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To expand on that, I think that not only does like dressing like influence your thought of them being like or like Chinese American, I also feel like the type of makeup they put on may also have
Oh
like
yeah.
a role in that.
Mm.
I feel like
Mhm.
I might be wrong when I'm saying this, but like from what I see, I think like Chinese like Americans tend to have like more westernized looks. Like they'll have like thicker like
Eyeliner.
eyeliner or like eyelashes, like maybe tanner
Mhm.
skin. Because like if I'm looking at like my mom's old images and stuff, like she when she wore makeup, it's like usually like paler, like less like makeup
Less,
around
it's
like the
not,
eyes or something.
More
yeah, it's not as
naturalish.
Yeah, more
heavy. Yeah,
natural.
more
Yeah.
natural. Uh-huh. I agree with that.
Well, I'm just saying like it's just like for me like what sets the difference is like basically like the way they dress and the way they put on the makeup if they do.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference that I see in like all of them is probably like the the language, because like I feel a lot of like American born Chinese people, like they their Chinese or like their family language from, I don't know, wherever their quote unquote family came from. I hate using that, but like
Mm.
because like even though like Cantonese was my first language, I feel like because I was like born and raised in the US, like my Cantonese is definitely not on par with like someone from like Hong Kong, like born and raised in Hong
Yes.
Kong. So like
Hmm.
I think that's like a big difference.
I feel like even in class sometimes like you can differentiate because native Chinese, they will start speaking Chinese to each other, and then
Mhm.
like but you wouldn't see that if it's American for Chinese.
I also feel like behavior can sometimes play a role. I feel like Chinese Americans are more social, like they're more open, at least to me, versus like
I
native
see that.
Chinese people are a little bit more reserved and like they're kind of on the quieter side from my perspective. What do you think your parents identify as? Like, are your parents more towards the Chinese American side or like the native Chinese side? And
I think my parents, they mostly like they think they're like native Chinese, um and they do stay with their roots because my parents are FJ, and even like when they don't actually understand any English really. So like at most of times when it comes to official stuff or like any documentation, I'll have to be the one to translate or complete the documentation because they don't actually know they still don't know the language. And I don't think they have any like desire or motivation to learn the language. Like they still mostly talk in FJ or Mando at home.
mm,
For me, at least, I know my dad would probably always identify as Chinese. Um, but my mom is definitely like she's from Hong Kong, but she's kind of like Americanized in the sense that she came here when she was 14. She speaks English, and I don't know, like of course she's still in touch with her Hong Kong roots, but like she somewhat lives like an American lifestyle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my parents are like, my dad's from Hong Kong, but like he came here when he was only like a couple of like months old. So I would say he's like extremely Americanized. While my mom's from like the Dominican Republic, but like she learns Cantonese in college from her roommate from Hong Kong. But like, so my mom would, I think they were both just identified just like my dad would be like Americanized, but like he still considers himself like Chinese, and my mom just like considers herself like Dominican.
In my case, I grew up mostly with my mom. My dad came in later in my life, because we had like some difficulty. But because like my dad came in a little bit later, he's like definitely more like with his roots, he's definitely more native Chinese. But like because of my exposure to like English shows and English classes and such, my mom had to like listen to what I was saying half the time. And I feel like I was slowly losing my Chinese self. Like I started forgetting like basic phrases that I used to know, or like I knew less vocabulary. And eventually my mom just like accommodated and she learned some English. So my mom now is like more Americanized, and we kind of speak Chinglish at home, but like when I'm speaking to my dad, I try my best to speak Chinese because he doesn't really have an interest in learning the language. He's very grounded to his roots as a Chinese native. Did you guys like mostly grow up in China or like the US? Because I heard from Jesse, you have like instances where you moved to the US and you bounce back to China and you bounce back to the US.
Yeah, I most of my life I lived in the U.S., but it was just in my early, like when I was just born, I moved to China to live with my grandparents for a certain amount of years, and that's why like my first language was actually Chinese and not English, and then I had to learn the language after like coming here, and then I have to go to ESL for like a certain, like I think I was in ESL until up till I finished elementary school, and yeah, so
ESL was rough. I remember being in ESL too. I got out super late compared to the other people.
yeah, me
Um,
too.
all my other classmates that didn't have to do ESL or watching movies while I had to take a test to get out of ESL, and I remember being very jealous of them.
Yeah. The thing
Um,
is, I was in ESL and then I got out of ESL and I went back in again. Oh my god.
it's okay. English can be a tough language sometimes.
So I grew up in New York most of my life. I lived in a very I lived in a Chinese neighborhood, but at that time when I was little, it was like it was like more balanced out. So I'd say the people I was always around were more like not they weren't all Chinese. They were like a bunch of white people, stuff. So when I was growing up, they accidentally put me in ESL because they thought I only spoke Chinese, when in fact I just didn't talk. So they were like, "You go in ESL," and then my mom was like, "Wait, the kid speaks English. Why is he in ESL?" So they quickly removed me from there, and I've never been back to ESL. Don't want to. I'm so sorry, y'all.
I relate because I was for most of my life for all of my life I was like raised. I've lived in New York, but then like I lived in Flushing, Queens, so it's like
You're
predominantly Chinese. Where I live was predominantly Chinese. Like even like when I was like a kid, it was like more balanced out, like Winston said. And like they also put me in the ESL class, even though like okay, it may have been my fault. Could have been my fault, but like because like I was when I was like in preschool and like kindergarten, I was more comfortable with speaking in Cantonese, Cantonese mix, because like that was my first language because like I lived with my grandma and like she only spoke in that and she like basically raised me. So like when I went to school, I was speaking that, even though I understood and spoke English. So they just put me in ESL, and then like I remember like there was just like this test with like they always have like a test to like weed out people who like belong there or not. And it was just like cat. You just have to like write them like bat and stuff like that. And then like I got them right because I knew English, and they're like, "What? You don't belong here." And then
Wow. Like talking about like growing up and learning on ESL, have you guys been ever put into like after school programs? Like, you know,
Kind.
Kumon or like some
No.
private tutoring
Oh my
center?
God.
Yeah,
I've never been to
I
any
have.
after
It
school.
was
I
really,
have.
and that was because I grew up in China for like the first 5 years and I did not know any English. They put me straight into like a private tutoring center. What happened?
Junior, where did you go?
I went to a
Which
private tutoring center. It's like right by ADAV, and it's like at a very small
I love
cubicle.
Badai though.
But I don't.
I did go to after school program, but like it was more for like it was more like Chinese school. Like they would teach us Chinese in the after school because my parents like wanted me to learn how to write and read in Chinese, but that didn't really work because I was so lazy. I didn't want to learn anything, so then I got zeros on almost every quiz that we had in the after school.
It's okay.
Yeah.
For me, my parents didn't really have the resources to put me in any schools after school, so I went to the programs that the school offered for free, like the YMCA and such. And honestly, they don't really teach you anything. All you do there is do your homework and then have play games. So personally, I've never been to like what Kumon. Like everyone's talking about, oh my god, remember Kumon or ABC or something like that. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I went to the YMCA.
Yo, I went to
I had
Canva.
fun.
be nice. I went to Kumon for like since elementary school to like middle school, but it wasn't for like to learn English or anything. It was like because my mom's a tiger mom, so she was like, "Oh, I want your grades to always be hundreds."
Oh.
Oh, you got it wrong.
Classic.
We will now be moving on to our music break. Please enjoy these following songs until we return.
我就走着走着，风景也变着变着，地球应该不是圆的，比较像长方的。然后我踏进了这个城市，很独特，悄悄话都说得很大声，忙着找什么？你是不是那个人啊？怎么会为我暂停了？而整晚没睡，我们就聊着聊着。我可以走进人海，也可以坐船出海，在你的世界存在，再也不用担心被现实怪待，真的好奇怪，地球那么多精彩，我却最喜欢你灵魂深处那小小地带。你让我舍不得，也不再想念银河，地球像是无止境的，和你走不完的，春夏秋冬又过了，这城市依然独特，然而我也一边学的好多好多的，你是不是那个人啊？怎么会为我暂停了？而整晚没睡，我们就聊着 以走进人海，也可以坐船出海，在你的世界存在，再也不用担心被现实怪待，真的好奇怪，地球那么多精彩，我却最喜欢你灵魂深处那小小地带。我们尽情迷路，也尽情感慨，这个地方因为你，我才有所明白，才有所依赖。就陪我走进人海，也陪我坐船出海，在你的世界存在，再也不用担心被现实怪待，而从里到外，你还是那么精彩。原谅我的惊小怪，原来这叫所谓的爱。
想去到画上的童年，捡起被遗忘的相片，曾经弹过的木吉他早就断了弦。还记得年少时我最爱荡秋千，一个人骑车去海边，等待流星许下心愿，蝴蝶风筝飞得很远，随着天空消失不见，曾经听过的语言都被岁月搁浅，和你遥望过的月光都没有变，让四季都变成夏天，放弃每一天。我们疯狂的那年，已经越走越远，纯真的容颜都随季节而蜕变。你牵我的画面又浮现在我眼前，在放弃之前就回头看一眼，就像你陪在我身边。我们难忘的那年，会不会再出现？也许又会在未来那天再重演。相对的一瞬间，用彼此微笑的脸，会突然发现，仿佛已经回到从前。天空消失不见，曾经听过的语言都被岁月搁浅，和你遥望过的月光都没有变，让四季都变成夏天，放弃每一天。我们疯狂的那年，已经 而蜕变。你牵我的画面又浮现在我眼前，在放弃之前只回头看一眼，就像你陪在我身边。我们难忘的那年，会不会再出现？也许又会在未来那天再重演，相对的一瞬间，用彼此微笑的脸，会突然发现仿佛已经回到从前。我们疯狂的那年，一起越走越远，纯真的容颜都随季节而蜕变。你牵我的画面又浮现在我眼前，在放弃之前只回头看一眼，就像你陪在我身边。我们难忘的那年，会不会再出现？也许又会在未来那天再重演，相对的一瞬间，用彼此微笑的脸，会突然发现仿佛已经回到从前，会突然发现仿佛已回不到从前。
夹进你手心，是真挚的曾经，所以我抱紧你，才留下了血印。关进我眼睛，是想学的的谜底，仿佛爱情的 去的回忆，少你提的谜底，仿佛爱情的爱。不够爱的你，明明微笑着哭泣。Oh yeah，我的爱情越开越狠的抓紧，眼看它凋零死去。不够爱的你，得不到也丢不去。Oh yeah，这算什么爱情？算什么爱情？
All right, everybody, we are back and let's dive right into the next topic. Wow. Oh, out of curiosity, what kind of utensils do you guys use?
Primarily?
Yeah,
Primarily?
for like your meals and such. Because to be honest, I used to use a lot of like forks and plates, but I slowly transitioned to using chopsticks in a bowl. And the way I hold my chopsticks is like normal now, but like back in the day when I first started using it, like in the middle of high school, it was kind of janky, and then my mom would like yell at me until I got it right.
Uh-huh. When given a choice, I always go with chopsticks.
Mm,
Yeah.
They're
I
just
think-
perfect, convenient, every multi-purpose.
wow. You guys too?
I use chopsticks more because like when I was little, I only used a spoon, and then my parents was like worried that I wouldn't know how to use a chopstick. So then at the dinner table, they didn't give me anything else but chopsticks. So it's either I use chopsticks or I just don't eat.
Oh,
So now I know how to use chopsticks, and that's the only thing I use.
Same. My parents did the same because like they wanted me to be able to use it. So like they would only have like chopsticks at the table, and like if I wasn't holding the chopsticks right, they would like slap my hand until like, and they would fix it like in my hand.
did you guys ever have like the trainee chopsticks to use?
No.
The thing on the
No.
top?
I
If
didn't
you
even know
can't use
those
it, you can't
existed.
eat.
You can't, yep.
It's so weird because me and my cousin were 50 days apart. He's younger, and like this kid only uses a fork and a spoon, and we live in the same house too. And I'm like, what happened? What happened here? I'm just here like chopstick using my chopstick for everything. He's just fork, spoon, knife, everything.
Yeah, I have a very, very Chinese American friend. I went over to his house once and like literally he walked in his house with his shoes on and I was like, hold on.
Oh,
How dare he?
I was like,
How
hold
dare
on.
he?
Something's not right. Something's not right. Moved it
Something
to,
not right
he-
here.
Like I took off my shoes and he was like, nah, don't do it. I'm like, okay, I guess. And then like we went
It
to eat
throws me off.
and like I saw plates and I'm like, hold on, something's off. And then I saw my fork and I'm like, wait, I'm not used to this. But they had like very traditional Chinese meals, but their lifestyle was very Americanized. I'm not
Cut
sure
the
if it's
cameras.
Americanized, but it's not Chinese.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow. And like they also use dishwashers because I know my mom does not believe in dishwashers. Like she uses like the soap and sponge and she's like, you gotta scrub it yourself because she doesn't believe in dishwashers.
The dishwasher is a drying
Yeah,
rack
they use
or
it.
a storage
Yeah.
unit.
I don't know,
So is
like
the oven. So is the
so is the
Yeah,
oven.
so is the
oven is a
oven.
perfect way to
Uh-huh.
store all your goods, y'all.
Right.
If you don't learn how to wash your dishes early on,
Oof,
you're gonna be a mess in the future.
it is. But yeah, that's pretty funny. I was like, damn. And I told him afterwards, I was like, nah, I just kind of grew up this way. I'm like, wow, you're very not Chinese.
I visit my non-Asian friends and they're like, oh, you can come in, and I'm like, but my shoes, and they're like, no, it's fine, and I'm like, do you have a pair of slippers anywhere, or I'll just walk in with my socks.
But I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but like most of the times, like in my household at least, like you can tell when you're home, like when you walk in, there's like wooden tiles. I feel like wooden tiles, for the most part, like for most of the Asian houses I've been in, it's
Yeah.
always wooden and it's always like so
Uh-huh.
nice because the ones that stony are carpet,
Mhm.
and I don't like carpet because
Mm-hmm.
if you make a
Yeah.
stain, it's so rough to get it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think wood is better. Like I think like parents likes wood because you can clean it. But in carpet, it's like you don't know how long or like what is in there. Like so it's just it gets dirty so easily and like if something spills on it, you never get it off.
Don't
It just
No.
stays
remind me.
there forever.
Like when I first moved in, like our old neighbors, they had like um they had carpet floors, and my mom was like, no, it's gotta go now. So she replaced everything. It didn't matter what cost it was, she just wanted to replace everything with wood.
Yeah,
Except for
me
the
too.
kitchen were tiles.
Yeah, we're currently in the
Uh-huh.
process of, well, we're not like we're moving to a different borough, right? And we saw the house and there were carpet, and my parents were like, no, no, Winston, pick out a wood design. You're in charge of that. We're not dealing with this.
Oh my god, you know the wood, my Asian parents are so meticulous of like not scratching the floors or anything. So we have like those little silicone things that we put on our chair legs.
Oh
So it
yeah.
wouldn't scratch the floor.
Wait,
We're
Yeah.
not allowed to-
what?
Yeah, we're not allowed to
Explain.
scratch the floor. So when you have like a suitcase or like a chair and you like move it across the floor, sometimes it leaves behind scratches, right? And my mom was like, no, that's not good. It's like not, it dirties the floor, it damages the floor. She's like, you gotta get these silicone things. I bought it on Amazon for like 20 bucks. And she put it on every single thing. Like the mirrors have them, the chairs have them.
Oh,
Like
I've
some
never seen
counters
that.
in the coffee table have these freaking silicone things. And I'm like, wow, I guess it's not that aesthetically pleasing, but like it doesn't scratch the floor.
Wait, do you guys wear slippers at home?
I'll
Yes.
always
Or
have
you're
to.
barefoot?
Yes.
Because
Slippers.
like
Right.
along with like that scratching thing, my like when we first got this house, because I moved from Flushing to Bayside, my parents didn't want us to scratch the floor, so we would put like paper towels underneath our slippers to clean the floor after walking.
Wait, really? Oh, wait, I
Yeah.
don't. Like you guys were sweeping.
I wonder if native Chinese people do that. Or is it because of our parents are native Chinese that we're influenced to do that?
My mom's
Oh,
not even native Chinese.
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
Is
My
it?
parents never made me do that.
And then my
Yeah.
uncle does the same in their house.
I've never.
Nope, never.
Oh my god, I feel my mom is
Free
getting to
floor
the point.
wash.
Oh, my mom is like becoming more Americanized. So, like she's gotten lazy. So she bought like a Roomba and she's like, you know what? The Roomba can sweep for us. So that's a robot.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching TV while the Roomba like cleans up the whole entire floor.
Does it actually clean though?
I don't know. I mean, like it sucks up dust, but then also like tosses some of it like to the side.
I think it misses some stuff because we got a Roomba too. It's just like you see dust is like one line.
Yeah.
Just go straight.
But like I mean, if she got it, like you might as well just put it to use. What other things do you guys pick up? Like off the top of my head, I can think about like collecting plastic bags and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a plastic bag of plastic bags, but I feel like
Yes.
we're the only type of people to do that.
I
It's trash
literally have.
bags.
They're
yeah.
multi-purpose.
You know,
Yeah, you
multi-
use them as
True.
trash bags.
exactly.
You could put your snacks in there and carry them around.
And like sometimes like when I go out on a trip, my mom will like steal like their little lotions and stuff and bring it back home. And she's like, we can use this for later for an emergency or something. Like if we go to like a hotel because we're going on a trip, and like they have like the bottles of like the free lotion, the soap. She'll like eat all of it and like
Yeah.
run. Yeah, it's like the little things that I pick up, and I'm like, wow, is it just us?
Mhm.
Oh, and like, you know, like when quarantine first happened, and like, I don't know, I feel like almost all like Chinese households, like all the moms started to like grow onions like in like
Wait,
water
what?
or something.
Yeah.
Like oh like my mom's friend and like my mom and like all my other Asian friends, like they we would just have like green scallion, like the root of the green scallions in like a pint of water, and like they
Mhm.
just like grow the onions themselves. I'm just like, what
My
the?
mom grows with her own green onions to use.
Mhm.
She just lets it sit there and she chops it up whenever she needs it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like if I were a parent as like a Chinese American, I don't feel like I'd be doing those kind of things. I'd probably just be buying my own vegetables and stuff because growing, I don't have that kind of dedication. I don't have that kind of effort and stuff. I just go for the easier alternative.
I agree. I agree.
For me, I grew up in Tucson, which is like a very, very tiny region. I'm from like Stony Brook. I don't know that many people that are from Tucson. I think like from my from what I see, like most people that are Chinese here are like mostly FJ or Fujianese.
I knew so
Depends where you
many.
go.
Yeah, I know so many FJ people.
But I barely know my own kind of people. I feel like I don't think there's like a huge difference, but like Tucson people, like we don't because like some of my sweetmates are FJ when we like
Uh,
cook dinner together. Our foods are so different but the same at the same time. I don't know.
mhm.
What's different and what's the same?
So like we can start
Not
like
you and spicy food.
Yo, okay, first of all, I can't eat spicy food.
Wait, me too.
Sure, I think
I
sriracha
love
is very
spicy food.
spicy. Like I tear up eating
What?
like I have a tongue
He
dip of
he had
sriracha.
sriracha last time
I was crying.
yesterday, and he started crying.
I literally was like, Winston, I gotta go. Like Joey like popped open a
You
bottle of
gotta go.
sriracha and she was like, oops, y'all want some sriracha? I was like, okay, I'll take like a dip. I put it in my mouth and I was like, Julie, where's the bathroom? I gotta gotta wipe my tears real quick. I was in so much pain, like my nose was clogged.
Wait, me too. Me too.
Wait, you
What?
think sriracha's too spicy?
What?
I
Yeah,
can't
dude.
take no. I can't take spice. It's like Julie, like she cooks and then she always like, this not spicy. No one, everyone's like, this not spicy. It doesn't taste like anything. And then I eat it and oh my god, my mouth is on fire. I don't understand.
I don't know about you, Junior, but I don't know what is up with the FJ people and their lack of a spice tolerance.
No, you have good spice tolerance and you're FJ, aren't you?
I thought it was, I don't even know. I love spicy food.
I can't, no.
I can't.
Spicy food tastes good, I just can't handle it.
Wait,
Yeah.
can you eat shin ramen? Is that too
Uh,
spicy or is
I
like...
take the packet out.
Wait, what do you put in
Wait,
it?
what do you season
I
it
think-
with?
What do you put in it?
Sometimes like you know like when you boil meat and what like I cook the meat and then like I make it into a broth and then I put the shin ramen in that instead
You
of
don't put
using the
like a
shin.
little bit of
No,
shit.
it's over, bro. Like
But if you
It's-
don't
I can't
like,
do this.
but isn't that just ramen and like meat? That's not shit ramen anymore.
it's the texture of the
Yeah,
meat.
just buy like the Maruchan
No, you know
$1 ones.
the ramen, like the 2 times spicy ramen and like the one
Oh,
time
yeah.
spicy.
Purda? Yeah, the
Yeah, the
purda.
bulldog.
Yeah.
I buy it for the noodles, but I throw away the packets.
But that's such
The
a
noodle,
waste of money.
the
Oh
texture
my
of the noodles
god.
is so good. The noodles
Oh.
way too
Oh
spicy, y'all.
my god.
Junior,
No,
get out.
Someone
I
Get
take
throw-
out.
this guy
like,
away.
I throw it out all the packets, but I keep the dehydrated vegetables for like extra flavoring. But I
We're
toss out the
revoking your Chinese card.
Junior, you
listen.
call yourself a fob in earlier. I think no, we're revoking
No,
that.
I'm playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
What were
I
you
do.
saying?
Spicy food is tough. No.
Yeah, back to what you were saying, Junyu. Off the topic of food, I'd love to continue talking about food, but maybe later. So you said you don't really see that many toys on people, right?
I really don't.
It's because I think a big part of it is because so you know Hakka, right?
Sure.
Do you know what Hakka is?
No.
Okay, never mind. There's Hakka, Toisan, and people from Guangzhou and Hong Kong. They're all grouped under Canto. So when someone says they're Canto, they can either be this, that, or that. From what I've experienced at least. Like my family is actually Hakka Toisan, but we always just say we're Canto, even though only my mom's from Hong Kong, but the rest of my family is from like they're Toisan and Hakka. But yeah, everyone just say, oh, we're Canto. Just to make our lives easier.
Yeah. When I speak Cantonese, it sounds very Americanized nowadays. Because when I talk to my mom, I'm like, oh, I'll speak to her in Chinglish. I'll be like,
Yes.
"Nyamo or like, which means like, have you eaten dinner?
Yeah.
And that's basically how we communicate now. But like in
Yeah.
Toisan, you guys will never hear me speak in it. I can hear it, but I can't speak it. You know, it's one of those
Oh,
things.
Yeah.
No, me too. That's me with Eshe. I can understand. I cannot speak it myself though. So bad.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, even if my mom and we both know the words in Cantonese and English, we just mix around, throw in words and it somehow makes sense to us.
Hmm.
Even if like everything, we can say the entire sentence in Cantonese, we just throw in English words just because it's natural to us now.
Um, I feel like yeah, like I mentioned this like before, but like FJ dishes are a little bit different from Poisson dishes. I'll like talk about like I feel like FJ dishes, like the soups that we make are very different.
Yeah.
FJ dishes, my sweet mate, he makes like a soury tomatoey soup most of the time. And I've never tried that. Like most of the soups I make are basically like winter melon or something like
Yeah,
that.
wait.
But
Oh,
yeah.
I do think that FJs they like sour things. I feel
Yeah.
like there's like tomato and egg soup, and then there's like the sour fish soup that I don't like, but my parents and like my family they love it. I
I
can't.
think it tastes good.
I tried
No,
it for the
no,
first
it's
time like recently and I was like, whoa, that's very sour. Like,
yeah,
damn.
it's so
But he
sour.
was like
It's
thinking
like
like he was like, "Yo, this is water to me." Like, and I'm
I
like,
don't know.
wow, I can't do this.
I don't know if this is like a weird thing in my family only, but for me, the difference between FJ and Kanto food for me is like, I don't even know why we're talking about food. It's like Kanto soups are like they take hours to make for in my family.
It takes a very
But,
long
Yeah.
time
but for
for
some reason in my FJ family, the soups can be done in less than an hour. And I'm
oh
like,
really?
huh?
yeah, Wait,
I'm like,
your soups
huh?
takes a few hours? What kind of soup are you
In
guys
Kanto,
making?
No, actually, no.
listen,
Soups take a long time to make.
they take like my grandpa's
What?
like my grandpa's like, I started brewing this soup when I woke up this morning and it's like 8 p.m. and
Oh
I'm like,
my.
and I'm like, and then my grandma's like, oh, we forgot to make soup. Let me just make that right now.
The prices of soups
And
can be
they,
so crazy sometimes. Like if you buy it, I think my aunt is willing to spend like over $100 buying like special soup from somewhere. And my mom will always be like, "Yo, just drink this. It's gonna make your skin better, and it's gonna give you like an extra 2 inches to your height."
Oh yeah.
Bro, these
Oh,
lies.
I know.
I'm still 5'6", y'all, and I've been drinking soup throughout my entire life. Like, where is my inch that you promised? But no,
It's
I
always
feel like
like the
yeah.
dried stuff. Like a lot of the Cantonese soups, they have like the dried ingredients, like the dates, the dried dates, and like
Mhm.
the mushrooms and stuff, and
It's
the
very herby. Like and
yeah,
there's like a
very
smell to it.
herbal.
Like you know you walked into like a dried vegetable like
Yeah.
condiments shop. If there's like a smell to it,
yeah,
then you'll be like, ah, it's one of these.
apparently the soups are gonna solve all our life problems. That's
Yeah.
family logic.
Like
Mhm.
tofu skin's gonna make your skin smooth. The red dates is gonna help you grow hair. It's like like actually what my parents tell
Yeah,
me.
you're gonna become a successful doctor if you drink
Yeah.
the soup.
It'll be like,
It
oh, this
makes you
increases like your
smarter.
brain cell count. You know, you'll do good in your exams. Like before the SATs, like the big exams. My mom be like, drink this soup. It's gonna help you. I promise you. It did not help me, but
And then I
Wait,
it's
fail.
okay.
my family says that for fish. Because
Oh
I don't
yeah,
like fish, and I don't know why. They keep saying, "Oh, eat more fish; it's gonna make you smarter." I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Um. Also, like I don't know, is in my neighborhood right now, there's not that many Chinese people, but I feel like in Badai or 8th Avenue,
Yeah.
there's a good amount of Canto people there, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Because I know like every time I walk into like one of the shops around 8th Ave, like I can speak to the waiters in broken Chinese and they'll still understand.
Uh-huh.
But what about you guys? Like, where do you guys typically go to?
Um, well, I live in Flushing, so Flushing is mostly Mando FJ people. So I'm just there struggling to communicate to them because I lost all my FJ and that my Mandarin is very broken. So it's really hard. But when I go to like Badai though or and stuff, it's a lot easier for me to communicate because my Cantonese is a lot better. And then there's Sunset Park, which that's not 8th Avenue, right? That's a
Sunset
different
Park
part, but
is it's a
Sunset Park
little
is like
bit
mostly
further.
FJ people. And again, I have trouble communicating there. I'm like, I just sometimes I'm just too lazy and I give up and speak to them in English.
Mm. Mm, I see, I see. I don't know. I feel like locating where each kind of Chinese is like a little bit biased sometimes because you know there are people that aren't necessarily FJ or like Quezon or Canton
Hmm.
that live in there. But this is like from based off of what I see and who I talk to. If you guys had to choose between becoming like a fully native Chinese or like a Chinese American, which identity would you guys take on and like why?
I feel like being born and like raised in the US is like negatively like affected like my roots, like my connection to like my roots, right? Because like we all speak, I think everyone here we speak like English, right? And then like I remember like I don't know if you guys experienced this, like Winston experienced this, or like Jen, you experienced it, or like any of you guys experienced it in like elementary school, or like if you bring like your lunch to school, it's like I feel like a lot of like ABCs like have experienced this. That like if you bring dumplings to school and then, like all like everyone at school is like, oh my god, that smells like poop. And then like so I feel like that discouraged me from like delving more into like my heritage. And like I feel like a lot of my relatives that like were born and raised in China, like what the FOB, what you would like the FOB that you would say, right? That you would like categorize. They would like look down upon, oh my god. They would look down upon like ABCs. Like, oh, you can't speak your own language. You can't like you don't know your own culture. So like I have a mixed feelings between like the two.
I feel like I understand what you're coming from. Back in the day, I
Hmm.
was like, Ma, I gotta get what these guys are getting. These Lunchables, they're mad filling. My mom looked at them, they're like, what's wrong with you? She's like, what is this? Why are you
A
eating
piece of
baby
cheese and
food?
mystery meat on
I
cracker.
was like, yo, look, you can assemble it like this. He was like, that's a waste of money. That's $5 for like a bite full of food. And like I was just trying to fit in because like my school, like my elementary school, like sure there was like a good amount of like Chinese people, like Asian people, but like the white people were like always flexing their like Lunchables, be like, yo, this is like the new trend now. Like you guys have to eat this.
Yo, you
And
want
I'd
to
be
trade
like,
snacks?
and I'd be like sitting there, I'd be like, wow, I could be like that too. So I got Lunchables and I was like, man, I can't wait to try this. And I ate it and I'm like, wow, that's kind of
It's kind of
sad. It's like,
sad.
where's the flavor?
when,
It's
when you look at other people, it looks fire. But then when you
Yeah,
get it for yourself, it's like, oh, this is kind of like sad.
like my mom had to like transition, like, cause I was embarrassed to bring my own food sometimes because it's like kind of exotic. So my mom would bring like Chinese snacks. Um, so like sometimes she'll bring like one of those like rice crackers, like the seaweed things, and she'll be like, "Oh, you know what? Just eat this instead." Like when you come back home later, we'll just eat more.
I would bring
So,
Joan the
Mhm.
oh
the
really?
glutinous rice with like in the leaves, right?
Mhm.
And then like I would like open it in class because like my grandma would make it and I would just bring it to school. I'll open it in class and then like everyone around me is like, ew, what is that? Like, why are you eating leaves? And then I don't know. I felt kind of bad after that. I didn't want to bring it to school anymore.
At least Jong has flavor, bro. I mean, Lunchables, they
True,
look cool and
Joan.
all, but like it's just it's this big, bro. It's so tiny.
My
What about
experience was. Oh, continue.
no? What about you guys?
Uh, my experience is somewhat different from you guys. Because like I had like I'd pack up leftovers or like stuff from last night for lunch, and I personally feel like self-conscious about it because I'm like, yo, this kind of looks weird or it's gonna smell when I microwave it. But then like when I do eat it, like my friends would be like, yo, that looks so good. What is that? And it smells so good. And I'm like, it does? And I was it's like weird for me because like I had never been like I've never been around like yo that smells so weird or like what is that personally.
I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's maybe because like I lived in New York only for a short amount of time, and then I moved to New Jersey. I feel like I mostly bought lunch at school though.
Oh, yes, that too.
Oh yeah.
But I meant like on
Yeah.
trips.
I had to my school. I had like one of those free things because I had something going
Oh.
on.
My
Oh,
parents
me
are like,
too.
free
It's
lunch?
okay.
Yeah, I had free lunch.
Yeah, I have free lunch too. But yeah, I feel like I mostly bought like whatever they had in school. I remember just one time where like I don't really know all the foods there, and I the only thing I would get was I will only get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, to the point where I got so tired and disgusted by peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Even now I can't eat them. I just even looking at them, it's just like no.
I know
Oh
what to make you next time.
no, no.
Peanut butter jelly sandwich with extra ginger.
It's
Just a
going.
birthday
That's
present.
gonna. That's gonna go into the trash. Okay.
The
No.
bread, the school bread is bad though.
Yeah,
It's
that's
bad though.
The only
like a
good
whole
thing that they
grain.
had, I think the mozzarella sticks were okay.
Oh, they're
oh
I like the Chef Boyardee like ravioli that they had. I don't. Those are. Uh,
No, their
one of
pizza
my
tasted like
friends
cardboard.
fought other people for it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ravioli.
It was maybe because all the other food that the school served was just bad, and that was just like the best thing. But like, Winston knows who I'm talking about. He fought someone else for their ravioli, their food.
That's
you
crazy.
fought someone for school food.
Listen,
I can't.
What is this? What is
listen,
this
the beef
order
patties
here?
at school slapped.
No.
The Jamaican patties.
Yes.
Oh, they slapped.
Wait, really? Did my school
Yes.
prepare it wrong or something? Because mine were extra dry.
What?
Yeah.
No,
That
they
I
slapped.
would be living during my lunch period for those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, back to the original point again. I do think it's important I think I like where I'm at now, where I have a good balance between the two. I just wish I was more in touch with my native Chinese roots, because I don't speak Mandarin. It would be so much more beneficial if I spoke Mandarin, because it's like one of the biggest languages in the world. I think it is the biggest language in the world. It's so much easier to communicate, but I do like just also like my current lifestyle. Like my family is like, oh, let's try to make some non-Chinese food, or like let's celebrate some non-Chinese holidays and stuff, like I don't know, Christmas, because part of my family doesn't really celebrate that. But yeah, my mom is always trying to like try new things in order to fit in with the American lifestyle, while also celebrating Chinese holidays and stuff. Yeah. Anyone else?
For me, I think I also want to I think I like the balance I have right now, because I'm thankful that I was born in America, and I got to learn English, and it's like also a really big language. But like along with my English, I also know my Mandarin and like my Chinese. So I think for me, I have a good balance, and I would like
That's
to stay
nice.
where I am. Watch more Chinese dramas. It'll help you.
For me at least, I feel like I'm satisfied with where I am too. My mom is hilarious because like she tries to celebrate the American holidays. Like she'll do something special, like something unique for Christmas or like
You mean hot
Easter.
pot?
It's always hot, but like
It's true.
she'll be like, oh, you know what, since it's Christmas, might as well just like, drink hot chocolate and stuff. I'm like, Mom, you never did this when we were at China though.
Like
for
Thanksgiving where my
Easter.
mom tried to make a turkey and I'm like,
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving, Mom, I'm trying making a turkey. I'm like, wait, hold on. That's not.
I've never had turkey on Thanksgiving to this day.
Yeah. Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
I had the Costco rotisserie chicken.
The costume. Kind of slaps, Um. All right. So I guess that's basically it. um. I guess thank you guys for tuning in. I feel like I got to know more about you guys today, and It's super interesting to hear about each and every single one of you guys' roots. So I just want to say thank you for listening, and this has been China Blue. Special thanks to Jessica, Jesse, and Winston for coming out here today. You guys want to say bye too?
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right, I'll see you guys next week.